While the War on Terror dominated the headlines of the early 2000s, two other massive forces were quietly rewriting the American experience. One was an economic earthquake that nearly destroyed the global financial system. The other was a technological revolution that started as a nuclear survival strategy and ended with a supercomputer in your pocket one. In this final chapter, we explore how the Great Recession changed our money, how bitter debates over healthcare and immigration polarized our politics, and how the digital revolution fundamentally altered our daily lives. Hit like and subscribe. Let's dive into the 21st century. The 21st century economy is defined by globalization. Multinational corporations like Apple and Walmart are global Goliaths. Supporters call them engines of progress that lower costs, while critics see them as agents of exploitation that put downward pressure on American wages. But the real shock came in 2008. The Great Recession was the deepest economic downturn since the Great Depression. It wasn't an accident. It was a 5-step recipe for disaster. Step 1. Cheap money. After 9/11, interest rates were cut to 1%, so everyone rushed to buy houses, driving prices into a speculative spiral. Step 2. Predatory lending. When banks ran out of good borrowers, they pushed subprime mortgages on people with bad credit, using teaser rates that would explode later. Step 3. The financial weapon. Banks bundled these toxic loans into complex products called collateralized debt obligations, CDOs. They paid agencies to rate them AAA, as safe as government bonds, and sold them to investors all over the world. When the housing bubble burst in 2007, the system collapsed. Subprime borrowers defaulted, and those safe CDOs became worthless. Major firms like the 150-year-old Lehman Brothers went bankrupt, and the stock market crashed by 53%. The government stepped in with massive, unpopular, taxpayer-funded bailouts, TARP, to prevent a total depression. It proved that in a globalized world, a housing problem in America could instantly drag the entire world into recession. While the economy struggled, political polarization exploded over two main issues. First, healthcare. For decades, insurers could deny coverage for pre-existing conditions like asthma or cancer. In 2010, President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act, ACA. It banned those denials and expanded Medicaid. Supporters called it patient protection, guaranteeing that the sick could get coverage. But opponents saw it as massive government overreach. They specifically hated the individual mandate, which forced every citizen to buy insurance or pay a penalty. Conservatives argued the government shouldn't force citizens to buy a commercial product. The second debate is immigration. The core problem isn't just bad laws, but congressional gridlock. Congress has failed to pass reform for decades, forcing presidents to govern by crisis management. This creates policy whiplash. President Obama used executive orders to create DACA to protect dreamers brought here as children. Then, President Trump pushed for a border wall and physical deterrence. Then, President Biden overturned those policies only to face new record influxes. The lesson is clear. Because the legislative branch is paralyzed, immigration rules change every 4 to 8 years, leaving the system broken. But the most profound change to American life wasn't political, it was digital. And surprisingly, it started as a government weapon. In 1969, the Defense Department launched ARPANET. The goal was to build a decentralized network that could survive a nuclear attack. If one city was destroyed, the data would reroute to another. But these computers needed a universal language to talk to each other. Scientists Vince Cerf and Bob Kahn invented TCP/IP. As Cerf described it, he built the roads for data to travel on. In the 1990s, this military tool went commercial. Investors poured trillions into the dot-com bubble, funding any company with a website. In 2000, The bubble burst and trillions evaporated. But the crash cleared out the dead wood, leaving strong companies like Amazon and eBay to build the real digital economy. The internet is now considered a general-purpose technology, as fundamental to our economy as electricity or the automobile. Why did computers go from room-sized military machines to the iPhone in your pocket? The Texas standards point to one engine: the free enterprise system. The lure of profits and fierce competition forced companies to innovate. To win your money, they had to make products better, faster, and cheaper. This revolution created a 21st century trade-off. We traded privacy for convenience. The pros are incredible: instant global communication, access to all human knowledge, and medical breakthroughs using AI. But the cons are terrifying. Privacy is the foremost concern, with corporations and governments collecting enormous amounts of data. We also face a mental health crisis, with social media linked to isolation, depression, and the spread of fake news. This is the defining paradox of our time. The same device that allows a farmer in Kenya to transfer money without a bank also allows for surveillance and addiction in Texas. From the Reagan Revolution to the digital age, America has transformed. We moved from the stagflation of the 70s to the debt of the 80s. We watched the Berlin Wall fall, fought wars in the Middle East, and saw our sense of safety shattered on September 11th. We now live in a world defined by the global war on terror, the Great Recession, and the digital revolution. We have moved from the familiar certainties of the 20th century to the complex, fast-changing realities of the 21st. History doesn't stop. It's being written right now by you. Thank you for watching this series on modern US history. Subscribe and share this with a fellow historian. And finally, I want to hear from you. Looking at the digital age, do you think technology is making us more connected or more isolated? Leave your answer in the comments below. Class dismissed. Until next time, stay curious.